Assalamu alaikum everyone, glad to be here. First of all, I'd like to give a big round of applause to Ali and his team for pulling this off. Really proud and honored to be a part of this digital acceleration event. Having been part of the digital industry in Pakistan for almost 3 decades now, I've seen it over the years grow, start from some very small and simple things like, there was a time when we were talking about people using Excels and people using, Microsoft Offices and all, to the time when we are talking about mobile applications, IoT and things like that. And over the years, few things have been consistent. And one of the major things that has been consistent is throughout all the companies, we were striving to give a good experience to our consumer. And it were the enabling technologies at the time which made the difference. And at that point in time, if you see all the brand leaders that we had today are the companies. Can we start the presentation, please? Yeah, great, thanks. Thank you. Let me just skip through. So, and over here, जब भी हमारे जो leaders होते थे industry के, they were always the companies जिनके अंदर consumer experience बेहतर होता था, जिनसे उनके customers खुश होते थे. Whether we like it or not, इस वक्त we are in the buyer's market. We are no longer in a seller's market. And when you're in the buyer's market, so उस वक्त आपका consumer experience अगर आप अच्छा नहीं दोगे, अगर आपके customer आपसे खुश नहीं, they'll go to another seller. And in the digital era, जो generation Z जब आई, और हर generation के फर्क buying trends होते हैं. So my generation and the generation before me had different buying trends. The generation Z today has a very different generation. This is the generation जिसके लिए 120 words Twitter के ऊपर लफ्ज़ पढ़ना जो है is a book. हम लोग किताबें पढ़ते थे, वो नहीं पढ़ते, right? वो Twitter से ज़्यादा sum total of knowledge comes from Twitter. So उनकी buying trends बड़े मुख्तलिफ हैं. अब सवाल ये आता है, first of all, कि why is it important to have a good consumer experience? Why even bother? So over the years, the research has shown that 46% of the consumers said that they would pay more for a friendly environment. People actually do pay more. They are willing to pay more. हम महंगे और अच्छे restaurants में, quotes and quotes, we go and we do pay more for the same food. Because it's the ambience, and if you talk to anybody who runs a restaurant, they would turn around and say that restaurants are not about food. They are about an experience. Let's talk about hotels for a change. What practically service is provided? It's a bed, a room, a clean room, a bed, safe environment, this, that. Why is that certain chains are able to charge more for the same experience, for the same service that others are not? There's a certain thing that quotes and quotes जिसे ambience कहते हैं. Telecom it is even more important. 55% of the consumer, और बार अगर आपने जब वो भी देखा तो efficiency की बात हो रही थी, speed की बात हो रही थी, time ज़ाया करने की बात हो रही थी. Generation Z that we are dealing with today, उनके लिए time की बहुत importance है. Why? Because this generation lives for themselves. और जब वो आपके साथ transaction में time ज़्यादा लगा रहे हैं तो वो actually for them it has a quotes and quote dollar value because they are giving you something, they are giving you their time. So they want to do the same transaction quicker. बार आपने जो पहले वीडियो चली उसमें भी देखो कहते हैं टाइम नहीं लगता. So efficiency becomes the key. And then of course there is this element of impulsibility. Because now people live, हम लोग again previous generations are pretty comfortable. They were worried about long term सोचना, pension का सोचना, ये करना, वो करना, वो एक generation थी. Now the generation thinks lives for the moment. So impulse buy becomes very important, which means that we need to understand the customer a lot more. We need to have a lot more data about the customer to make sure that उसकी जिस वक्त need हो उस वक्त हमारा product उसके सामने हो. So impulse buy is something that needs to be there. Now how do you do this? So what consumer wants is fun, easy and fast. And let's look at this slide. It's exactly the same information, but now we are looking at it in a very different fashion. This slide has been killed by this screen, but in any case, consumer experience जो है, it has to be, sorry. Yeah, if I could go back in the world, sorry. There you go. So the consumer experience today has to be fun, it has to be easy, and it has to be fast. Please, अगर आप हमारी country के भी social dynamics देख लें, so we have a lot of young people. There's a lot of despondency in our lives. There's a lot of bad news that comes around. So if you can bring the fun element in this, you are increasing the consumer experience, you will increase sales. Number two, your transaction, your systems have to be easy. You can no longer make sure, I mean, I have gone to retail stores जहाँ पे आप पहले एक जगह जाके जाते हो, उधर से आपको चिट देते हैं, you go to a second place, आप चीज़ खरीदते हो, पहले जाके एक जगह देते हो, फिर उसके बाद जो people from Lahore would understand which organization I'm talking about, आप जाते हो एक जगह से चीज़ खरीदते हो, जाके किसी को देते हो, वो नीचे जाती है, वो आपको एक पर्ची देता है, आप नीचे जाके रसीद देते हो, उधर जाके उसको पैसे, तीसरी जगह पैसे देते हो, चौथी जगह से आपको चीज़ मिलती है, पांचवी लाइन में खड़े होते हो, चीज़ मिलती है. I did that once about 2 years ago, उसके बाद I never went there again. And a lot of those big brand name, but dying slowly and very quickly. And of course it has to be fast. एक ज़माने में हम e-commerce का जिक्र करते थे, आजकल Q-commerce का जिक्र करते हैं. If I order something, I want it right there and then. And I don't want to stand in line, I don't want to wait for products. The implications of these three consumer behavior has a very distinct implications on our supply chains or our industry, on the way we do business. Today, our businesses need to be agile, they need to be simple, and they need to provide us with insights about the customers. आज के दिन जो आपकी सारी टॉक्स होंगी, वो बेसिकली उस टेक्नोलॉजी फ्रेमवर्क के ऊपर होंगी जो हमारी इंडस्ट्रीज़ को एजाइल बनाए, सिंपल बनाए ट्रांजैक्शंस को, और हम लोगों को कंज्यूमर इंसाइट्स दें. बिकॉज बेस्ड ऑन दीज थिंग्स, फॉर इंस्टेंस, पहले हमारा बिजनेस मॉडल ये होता था, बहुत सारे एक तरह के आप कपड़े बना दो एंड स्टार्ट अ ट्रेंड सो पीपल कम एंड बाय दोज. नाउ कंज्यूमर वांट 10 चॉइसेस. अगर आप देखें इन विमेन अपैरल फॉर इंस्टेंस, पहले अगर 10 तरह के जोड़े होते थे, एक सेट जिसे कहते थे, लॉन्च होती थी, अब शायद वो ज़्यादा चॉइसेस आ गई. इम्प्लीकेशन वॉज दैट, उसकी ये कि आपके डिज़ाइन हाउसेस बड़े हो गए हैं, आपके SKUs ज़्यादा हो गए, प्रोडक्शन रन्स छोटे हो गए. जब प्रोडक्शन रन्स छोटे हो गए हैं, जब आपको उस रियल टाइम में पता चलेगा कि जी ये वाला मेरा ज़्यादा बिक रहा है सूट या डिज़ाइन compared to the other one, that means you need to very quickly manufacture, which means you need to very quickly source the raw material, which means you need a very, very agile and very quick and very efficient enterprise resource planning system, a supply chain system. That also means that your underlying technology, your supply chain now needs to be linked to actually the sales system, maybe even at the point of sale system. Which means कि आपके supply chains के अंदर शायद आपको, अगर आपने customer insights लेनी है, तो आपके पास big data analytics का होना चाहिए. Because आपने हर consumer को आप individually देखना है. Because we have the ability to get that data. We have to realize कि वही consumer जब आपके point of sale पे दुकान पे आता है versus आपकी website पे आता है versus अपने mobile app से आता है, आपने उसको वही experience देना है, because now we know who that individual is. And then of course, उसके बाद all of this has to be simple for the consumer and for your own employees. And if you look around in this day and age, इस मुल्क में तो इस वक्त एक ही choice है for something to do that, and that's the country manager of that organization is sitting right in the middle of us, who has honored us with his presence, Saqib. It's SAP. You end to end, it's the only thing that can do it. Of course, not agile enough. When we talk of the underlying technologies that can make it possible, you will hear of a lot of these things coming around. Without an Internet of Things, no longer is the world जहाँ पे हम physically customers में data systems में data डालते थे. Now machines need to talk to each other. No longer are we available, no longer is a choice जहाँ पे आपके systems, आप big data organization के पास अब ये choice ही नहीं है कि अपने कंज्यूमर का वो डेटा कलेक्ट करके कस्टमर इंसाइट्स ना कर सकेंगे, वो डिसीजन ही सारे उन पे बेस होना है. प्रोडक्ट ए बनाना है, बी बनाना है, आपने पैकेज और प्राइसिंग ए करनी है, बी करनी है, कब आपने डिस्काउंट्स देने और किसको देने और किस जगह पे देने और किस टाइम पे देने, ऑल ऑफ इट विल कम इफ़ यू हैव बिग डेटा. अ लॉट ऑफ दिस आपने कंज्यूमर एक्सपीरियंस अभी आपका जो बहुत सारे आपके रिडंडेंट प्रोसेसेस जो हैं, जो मैनुअल प्रोसेस विच आर स्लोइंग डाउन योर एंटायर सिस्टम, वो आप रोबोटिक प्रोसेस ऑटोमेशन से हल करेंगे. देर आर नो अदर वेज. अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स अभी ऑगमेंटेड रियलिटी आ रही है. व्हाट डज दैट मीन? दैट मीन्स कि आपने बहुत सारा कंज्यूमर एक्सपीरियंस जो अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स अगर आप जाएं तो कहते हैं यार मैं ये चीज़ नहीं खरीदता क्योंकि आई डोंट नो हाउ टू, कपड़े को टच करके फील आती है, एंड ओनली देन आई कैन बाय इट. ये एक्सपीरियंस आप चेंज कर सकते हैं थ्रू योर augmented reality, and people are doing it. Recently there's a Chinese hotel chain which is doing a wonderful job. What they did was their entire experience from the time you check in, from the time you book, to the time you get into your room, to the time you choose a room, to the time you get into the room, किसी जगह पे उनके completely frictionless है. किसी जगह पे उनकी human interaction नहीं होती. आप ऐप पे कमरा चूज करते हैं, बुकिंग करते हैं, उसके बाद वो आपको थ्रू ऑगमेंटेड रियलिटी कमरा दिखा देते हैं कि योर रूम फ्रॉम द इनसाइड लुक्स एग्जैक्टली लाइक दिस. उसके बाद आपको वहीं पे एक QR कोड डाउनलोड हो जाता है विच इज़ एक्चुअली योर की टू गेट इन. आप पैसे भी क्रेडिट कार्ड पे देते हैं, आप जाइए उधर जाके करें. अगर आपको कोई चीज़ ऑर्डर करनी है, कॉफ़ी शॉफ़ी ऑर्डर करनी है, उधर से ही ऑर्डर कर लें. योर एंटायर एंड टू एंड एक्सपीरियंस डज नॉट रिक्वायर एनी इंडिविजुअल. मत जाके लाइनों में खड़े हो कि जब मैं जा रहा हूँ अभी पहुँचूंगा, रात को लेट चेक इन करूँगा, उसके बाद चाबी मिलेगी. वो चाबी जो हमेशा मेरे से, तो वो कार्ड हमेशा घूम जाता है होटल का. सो एवरी टाइम आई वॉक आउट ऑफ द होटल और वॉक इन, आई गेट माई सेल्फ स्टैंड इन अ लाइन एंड गेट अ न्यू, क्योंकि आई can't seem to sort of keep it in my wallet. The two best examples that I've seen, one of them of course is the Airbnb example. Airbnb ने क्या किया? Airbnb, wonderful example. They, through customer insights, they found out कि consumer चाहता क्या है. Consumer wants choices. Classic hotel, 10 तरह के कमरे हैं, deluxe room, twin bed, 3 bed, 4 bed. You don't have a choice, pick one of these 5. Airbnb कहता है कि यार 1000 तरह के कमरे हैं, take your pick. So through customer insight, they realized that the consumer experience is not a standard run-of-the-mill. It's no longer that एक ज़माने में Ford ने कहा था, you can have any color in the car as long as it is black. जब पहली दफ़ा गाड़ियाँ बनाई तो सिर्फ ब्लैक रंग था. उसने कहा था जो मर्जी रंग कर लो, as long as it's black we are okay. But over time लोगों ने कहा नहीं यार, अब रंग और भी होने चाहिए. करते करते वो experience over the last 100 years has come to a point where people want customization for them. Through 3D printing technology, through augmented reality, through customer insights, now it is possible to give that frictionless experience to the customer, to give that customized experience. And you cannot do it unless you have all the technology enablement. And if you do not do it, you will not exist. There will be an A&B coming to replace you. And the second thing is something that we've done, which is very interesting, and I would encourage you all to have a look at it. The market presently is not in Pakistan. It's something called a brain box. हमने किया ये, जब आपकी कंज्यूमर की डिलीवरी होती है, तो लेट मी जस्ट गो पास्ट इट. जब आपकी डिलीवरीज होती हैं, स्पेशली इन US, a lot of them get stolen, and what happens is कि a lot of those deliveries got stolen. और उसके बाद कंज्यूमर एक्सपीरियंस बुरा ये होता था कि लोग कि कहते हैं जी वी विल डिलीवर समथिंग. आप आईफोन अमेरिका में ऑर्डर करें तो कहते हैं जी between 9 to 5 हम डिलीवर करेंगे, which means you have to wait. फिर $40 million of all merchandise that is delivered in America is stolen. 40 every day. 43% of the consumers have actually had a package जो चोरी हुआ है अमेरिका के अंदर. फिर जब वो पिज़्ज़ा डिलीवर कराते हैं तो बाहर पड़ा रहता है, ठंडा हो जाता है. आप आइसक्रीम्स और मटेरियल्स ऑर्डर नहीं कर सकते क्योंकि पिघल जाती हैं. So what we've done, we've developed something called a brain box. So it's built in Pakistan, so I'm very proud of it. And it's connected to your Amazons and eBays and all the other websites. Every time you order, this box knows through a cloud connection. उसके बाद जब आप डिलीवर करने जाते हैं तो ऑटोमेटिकली बिकॉज इट नोज व्हाट यू हैव ऑर्डर्ड, सो आपका डिलीवरी वाला उसको जाके क्लिक करता है, अपना स्कैन करता है, द बॉक्स ओपन्स, दे लीव इट देयर, और आपको मैसेज आ जाता है व्हाट्स एक्चुअली बीन डिलीवर्ड. योर एंटायर लॉजिस्टिक ऑपरेशन नाउ इज फ्रिक्शनलेस. Even if it is a drone delivery, it is frictionless, saving billions and billions of dollars in lost merchandise every year. Now that is something that we've introduced. Encourage you all to have a look at it. Pakistan is certainly not a great market for it. We've patented it in EU, North America, and China. Please wish us the best of luck, because we need a lot of luck and a lot of your prayers, because we are now introducing it in the US. So I thought we'll start from here and get some feedback from you guys, if it is a good idea or a flat-out idea. But it is based on the fact, और सबसे जो important चीज़ इसकी है, जिस पे Google and the rest of the companies and Amazon we are also talking to, is the fact that it gives you customer insights. So जो तीन चीज़ें मैंने कही थी, it makes the life easy, and it gives you customer insight, because for the first time we will know, this particular box will know, कि एक consumer अपने घर में क्या क्या खरीद रहा है. सिर्फ आपको अपनी वेबसाइट से नहीं, आपको उसका पूरा 360 degrees buying pattern मिल रहा है. And that data has more value than everything else. With this, I hope you all have a wonderful session. I hope you all follow and learn from this session. And I'm willing and quite happy and quite open to learning. You can never learn enough. And as I see more and more of the young people here, I realize that this Generation Z, it has a lot to teach my generation, as long as we are open to it. So I wish you all to have a wonderful session, and hope to see you around. Great, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And just a minute. No, I think, sir, 20 minutes. ये तो मैं आपसे बाद में बात करूँगा. But I think once you were saying like, यार, this is not for Pakistan market, I realized you were teasing Hassan कि यार ये ताकि Hassan sort of appeal करे कि why it's not for Pakistan market. So thank you so much for your time, and I request Hassan Saya, Managing Director, Daraz, Pakistan, please give a memento to Mr. Sajjad Syed.